Hey everybody, what's up? I'm doing the intro today for Oscar. So before we get started, I know a lot of people are really excited for all the new sets coming out and the new starter decks. If you check out our link below, we have like a little link to a Hug Factory where you can get all 5 starter decks. If you put all of them into your cart, you can get them all for only $65. That's $10 off. And then also, I think we've heard that they have 4 starter decks available right now, and if you purchase them all, you get like a
in case you guys missed that, the 4-star decks for the new Warhammer Age of Sigmar Champions.
Oh, so it's a specific. Okay, yeah, check those out. And if you buy 4 of those, you basically get like a buy 3 get 1 free.
Yeah, those are $15 each. So yeah, make sure you click that link in the description below.
Well, those 2 videos coming out this Saturday and Sunday, delayed by a week, but they're coming out. An audio issue.
Yeah.
Warhammer.
And I think we have extra spoilers today, you were saying?
Yeah, it looks like they did double release. So we have the green ones, which came out at 6 a.m. And then we have the normal dark ones, which would have been tonight, and an extra batch dark ones, it looks like.
Fun stuff.
So pretty cool.
Right,
so let's get going, because we got a lot to get through.
Yeah. So I'll start with the first one, I guess. First one up is Atlantis, the Wielder of Knowledge. 3 costs, 2 green and a void, 400, 1200. Mimi Tribe Resonator says discard a chant. This card gains plus 800/0 in a turn. Play this ability only once per turn.
That's pretty interesting. I think that's so potentially a just giant 12/12 body could be pretty good. I think.
Yeah, I don't like them.
For
I feel like you're losing out. I feel like you're losing out on the you're just discarding cards. I guess I don't know. I mean, it's not bad. Like if you think about a card that says like give something plus 800/0, then it does that. It's kind of cool.
For free.
I thought it was interesting. Like if you're discarding a chant, you can make it what's the new chant type that they had recently where it worked with Feetsing?
Oh, an aura.
Yeah, there you go, aura chant. So you can work with her in a way.
Yeah, not impressed.
I guess. I'm not impressed by Oscar's scenario.
I'm just showing some outlets for people. You guys aren't giving any.
And so someone pointed out, if you look at his book at what he's researching Mount Howell's pig and Mount Howell's chicken. So he's literally just researching food, I think. So it might be a recipe.
That's pretty funny.
That's right. Next up, we have Lemuria of the Magic Boomerang. It's a 3-cost 0/8 from the Mimi Tribe. Enter. Put 2 fleeing counters on this card. If there are 2 or more wind runes revealed from your rune area, put 4 fleeing counters on this card instead. Remove a fleeing counter from this card. This card gains plus 1,000 attack until end of turn. Play this ability only once per turn, or you can pay 1 green and 1 void and remove 2 fleeing counters from this card and destroy target resonator.
Put in the comment, stop calling, if you want him to stop. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I like this guy.
Yeah, I like how interesting it is. So it's potentially a 3-drop 1,800. It basically is a 1,800 because it's going to have those unless someone lowrights it. And then it's if you have the runes revealed, then you essentially have a 1,800, and you also later on have a 2-cost destruction. So that could be decent. The 3 cost is kind of high, but yeah,
I like it. I like this much better than the last one we saw. The one we just saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I definitely played this 3 cost 1,800 over the other 3 cost.
Playing in a Crimson Girl deck. Can't get 2,000.
Yeah. I was thinking for Wander.
Next up, Joey.
Is Magic Boomerang next?
Yeah.
Okay. My cards are out of order on Facebook. Okay. It's 1 green Magic Boomerang. It's a chant, quick cast. Choose 1. Target resonator gains flying until end of turn, or return target resonator you control to its owner's hand, or this card deals 400 damage to target resonator.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just waiting for Colin to catch up. I was like, What's his reaction? Something's doing 400 damage or something. What's Colin gonna freak out about it or something?
First off, the other one was doing 400 damage to something. The other one's doing 400 damage to everything. Yeah. But this one also has quick cast on 3 different modes. But see, the one that's kind of bothering me is the returning resonator control to its owner's hand at quick cast speed inside of green. So it's because it's a way to save your resonators from dying potentially. But it's not like, oh, that's all it does. So it's sort of like a downside to running it. So it's got a very specific use. If you don't want to do that, you can also get something flying or something damage. 400 damage, and you can combo that with the runes, so you can kill an 800 thing for a grand total of 2 cost, as well as wiping out any lower cost things on the field stuff. So it's interesting. Yeah, it's not strong. I don't think it's like too strong or anything. It's just why have 3 modes for it though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's super flexible, but everything it does isn't that good.
I think the bouncing is really good at minimum. I think the flying could potentially be good, especially with green so far is just basically a bunch of big bodies, but none of them have flying. So maybe giving flying to big bodies at quick cast speed and for only 1, and not even having to be locked into only that option on this card, I think is pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said before, I've never been a fan of the like returning your own resonator to your hand, because it's like you're gonna have to play them again, and only if it has like good enter abilities do I think that it's like. Well, it
looks like they're diving pretty hard in enter abilities this set.
Yeah. And saving your res pretty good, but I don't know.
Especially like say your opponent plays the black resonator that destroys all your opponent's resonators or whatever, and it does like 100 damage to your opponent for each resonator destroyed that way. You can bounce this in response in order to not take damage from it. So which isn't a big deal, but it's an example of like a way, even if you're not planning to play that resonator again, it's a way to avoid like either a negative effect to you or a positive effect for your opponent. Like say every resonator they remove, they get a 100 counter or something like that. It's a way to, just
I just don't. I still don't like that. Like I don't like having to replay stuff that I already played.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like, yeah.
So next up will be Mimi Tribe Explorer, which is 2 costs, green and a void, 400, 600. Enter the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal a Mimi Tribe from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your deck in any order. Not random order, but in any order.
Ooh. OP.
It's broke.
Not bad for 4/6 for the stats. It and being able to cycle, because usually we always get this sort of vanilla cycle inside of tribal type of decks that are never used. But I think sticking it onto just an average stat resonator that's also part of the Mimi tribe is a way that you might actually see it get played, whereas the other ones we pretty much almost never get see play. So, yeah, it's pretty decent. She's exploring stuff.
So for tonight's spoilers, we had some stuff show up, and
are we starting?
A bit of it.
Which one are we starting with?
Azazel.
Yeah, man, we went over this beforehand. Jeez.
Azazel, the sexy angel.
Oh, hello there.
You can start it off.
What?
You can go ahead and start it
off. I thought.
Sorry.
Azazel, the sexy fallen angel of gloom. 4 costs, 900, 1,000. Resonator, fallen angel. You may pay 2 less to play this card if your opponent has 1 or less cards in their hand. I like that.
Oh, okay, Scarlet deck's gone.
Enter, choose 1. Look at the top 2 deck. Put a card from among them into your hand and the rest in your graveyard, or target 2 resonators that your opponent controls. Your opponent banishes 1 of them.
Wow. The second effect of that is super good, I think, because your opponent, you get to choose 2 resonators that could possibly both have barrier or something like that, and your opponent just banishes 1 of them.
Well, you still have to target them.
Yeah.
I see. Target.
It's not choose.
It still gets rid of destruction and stuff like that. Anti-destruction. The paying 2 less is not that hard of a requirement to meet, especially late game, especially inside of what they're going for with these dark decks, which is making your opponent stop clicking, which is making your opponent discard a bunch of cards anyway. So you're giving yourself the condition. You're not waiting for the condition to happen. You're setting the condition up to make this a 2 cost, because otherwise at 4 cost is not that great, I don't think, especially with those stats.
And this is back to what I said, like when we first saw some of those cool effects. Like, I'm not sure if I like it, because it's like it's like rewarding you for like already discarding, like for making them discard cards. So it's like, oh, let me reward you for like it's already good enough. I don't know. You know, it's like you're already discarding cards, like you're already probably ahead of them on like
it's the same problem I had with
like
Lorite's 7 Disciples, of like they already gained all the advantages and they got a body on the field, and so now you get all these effects of something you were going to do anyways.
Yeah.
So Joey, get in a character of a sexy fallen angel and read her flavor text there.
Don't worry, I shall free you from your suffering now.
All right, we all know what Joey's gonna do.
All right. Next up, I'll go into this one. It's one we've seen from Gen Con, spoilers already, and it's Belial, the evil from the scriptures. 6 cost, 3 darkness, 3 void, 1200, fallen angel. Flying. If your life is 1,000 or less, you may pay 3 void less to play this card. Enter, destroy all non-fallen angel resonators. Whenever a resonator is put into a graveyard from the field, this card deals 100 damage to your opponent.
Yeah. Now, this one's obviously pretty good, especially if you meet that first requirement. Obviously, you don't want to ideally meet the first requirement, but if you do, having a 3-drop 12/12 with flying that is a field wipe, and is dealing damage to your opponent at the same time, is a great bounce back. Usually these types of cards that are like, hey, this is less if your life is 1,000 or less or 2,000 or less, they're just like, look at these cool effects you do. But his effects, I feel like, and how he's designed, I feel like is specifically tailored to help you bounce back when you're below that 1,000 life. Of like, hey, you're below 1,000 life, you're about to die, here's all the tools you need to get back into the game. So I kind of like that.
Yeah, he's definitely much more like compared Dark Riding Hood. And then like it's like, yeah, she has very similar effects to where like they're really good stuff once you go under the threshold, but they're not gonna get you back into the game as much as this guy will.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's pretty cool. Next up we have Look of Corruption, 1 cost chant. Look at your opponent's hand. Choose a card with total cost 4 or less. They discard that card. If this card was awakened, also choose a card with total cost 5 or more, and they discard that card. Is this just Is this just a better thought control?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Why? We have thought control.
Yeah, but now there's a thought control in the next cluster.
But this is what thought control should have been. This hits Severing Winds, and Severing Winds is gone now, and now we have this. All right.
This is really good, by the way.
Yes, this is crazy good, because everything you're ever going to want to play is at that 4 cost or less mark. And if you know you're going against a deck that may or may not have 5 costs or more, or if you've already seen your opponent's hand because you played that 1 cost resonator, they look at your opponent's hand at the beginning of the end before you go into this one, turn 2 or 3, then you're getting rid of your... Interesting. I've never been a huge... Like, hand control is fine and all that. I've never been a huge fan of, like, a ton of hand control to the point where I just don't get to play the game anymore. So I'm curious how they're going to ride this line.
Probably in the ground. I mean, I don't know. Everything looks a lot stronger. I'm definitely, like, you were actually looking at colors and being like, wow, like, black is pretty good.
I wonder if it'll be harder to pull. I mean, it's a rare, and I was just looking up thought control, which is uncommon. So there's a rarity difference.
Yeah, but like rare to pull is like hardly, especially rare versus uncommon. Like,
I like the artwork on this though.
Yeah, I do like that. Yeah, this is kind of insane.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Next up,
I'm really interested if like Loki does get any awakening abilities, because like this awakening is also really good. But if Loki can like reduce the or something, this could be like crazy insane.
Yeah.
Minister
Oscar.
of Grief. No, it's mine, right?
Oh, is it? Yeah. Good.
Is my sound going off? Okay. Minister of Grief. 4 cost 500 human / opponent controls gain -500 until end of turn.
And that was an enter effect. Interesting. That 4 cost seems kind of high for that effect, but they could be. It's only till end of turn. Do you think this could be good?
No.
4 no.
Yeah.
I feel like it's obviously like conditional board wipe. And it lets you like get through some soft resonators and stuff if you're trying to attack, but
it's like it's not a fallen angel, so it doesn't synergize with anything unless it's for the other side of the deck, but I don't know. But like for 2 costs more, you get the other dude that guarantees destruction of every single thing your opponent controls and does damage to your opponent and is a giant body with flying.
It's also not part of the starter deck. It's from the set.
Yeah.
That's worse. The starter deck should be the weaker card, or use usually the weaker cards.
Well, no, you're gonna have weaker cards in the regular.
I guess
set
this might be good in limited.
I think this is
my
way
point is
better in limited.
My point is there's a card that exists that's better. It doesn't matter where the card is. There's I think,
yeah, but I don't think it's better. I think it's different better. Like you can't like one-to-one.
Well, no, because what is the point of giving your opponent's resonators -5/-5? You're trying to destroy them.
For example, well, yeah, no, or you might be trying to have them not block your guys when they attack. Like,
would it be better if they just didn't exist?
Yes, but the point isn't, oh, I can do this for 2 mana more. Like that 2 mana more is like a really important distinction between whether or not to play. It's the same as saying like, oh, I can pay 1 mana more to do this, but like that mana can make or break the entire card. Like yeah, it's 2 mana more and it does more, but it doesn't mean it's the same thing.
Yeah, but I'm saying the power drop
at a different.
I'm saying the power drop of the 2 will is a huge discrepancy.
I don't think so. I think this is okay costed.
No, I don't think so. All right, next up.
Next up will be tonight's spoilers, right?
Okay, let me pull that up. Give me just half a sec.
You want to start, Oscar?
Yeah, so I'm going to start with Black Rosario, which is a master rune. It's a 2 cost, 2 black, divinity of 2. You obviously played only if you control Lucifer. And it says your opponent banishes 2 resonators.
There we go. We got some banishment, double banishment. That's pretty good for a rune.
This is really good.
Yeah, just straight up 2 costs, banish.
Yeah, that's super low destruction. Like,
yeah, I like the cost of that.
Oh yeah.
I agree. I think it's cool. I've always been a fan of banishing, and it's a pretty decent number. It doesn't, like the number wise, I find it interesting because we have the rune for green, which creates 3 resonators, and so this banishes 2. So it's not so strong that it cancels out the other rune and stuff like that. It all feels like pretty synergetic and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that this gets past like barrier, gets past like it doesn't target your opponent either. The only thing that can really stop this is like cancels.
Yeah. Cool. Next up.
Can you cancel a rune?
Yeah, because it becomes a spell on the chase.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
Yeah, a copy of it becomes a spell on the chase. Next up, is that me?
No, I don't know. Yeah, it's you.
Demon Division, 2 cost, Divinity 2 rune. Search your deck for a card and put it into your hand and then shut what? What? Interesting.
That's a good tutor.
I can't even finish reading.
That's a great tutor. Inside of black? Is black the new search engine?
Black's had tutors.
Yeah.
Not just search for any card you want. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 2-cost one that you would put on the top of your deck, but if you controlled like 2 Darkness Resonators,
Oh,
you
yeah.
could put it in
No,
your
that's
deck.
conditional. I said, I'll say it one more time. Search your deck for any card, period, was my exact quote.
Okay.
And you're like, yeah, there's a card with a condition.
The only thing that does that is Reflect Refrain anyways. Everything else has conditions.
No, Rachel doesn't.
That's a condition. That's a condition for her to die and leave the field. Don't try and say like, oh, unconditional. Like that's a.
It is unconditional.
Condition.
No, her dying is not a condition. Her dying is like, oh, you did something bad. Here's a reward. I don't think that's a condition.
So searching my deck and putting it on the top of my deck is apparently a condition now. When that's like the base. No, that's the base card. That's just putting it on the top of my deck.
That's not putting it into your hand.
Yeah.
Once again, not what I said.
Whatever.
I just said my point still stands.
My point still stands that black has tutor searches.
A tutor search, yes. Point is, I think this is really good for 2 costs.
This is super good.
It's cool. You could only do it once at least, but
yeah. I'm just really digging the artwork. That's really awesome looking.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So next one up, and that's me, right? So Jet Black Wings, which is a 3-cost, 2 black and a void, rune, divinity of 3. Resonators your opponent controls gain -6/-6 until end of turn. Sorry, I thought I said it in the beginning. Yeah, quick cast. But -6/-6 till end of turn.
That's totally
there we go. That's a better version of that 4-cost resonator. No reason to run that 4-cost resonator. There you go.
This is a rune.
No reason to run the 4-cost. 1 cost less does more and at quick cast speed.
You don't get a 5/5.
No one wants a 5/5.
That 1 extra cost is already. It's a 1.
Joy, your whole speech about 1 will making all the difference. Here's your 1 will less.
1 will gives you a body on the field.
It gives you a shitty 5/5 body. No one cares about that.
That is body. That is a body. Okay.
You have a 4-cost body that can almost die to a 1-cost field wipe in green.
The body isn't the point. The 400. Look. All I'm saying is like, for 3 mana, you get -600, -600, right? So you cost that, and then you add a body. Okay, whatever. And then quick cast. And you add a body, and that's where the extra mana comes from, because it's a 400 for
the
1
quick
more
cast.
mana.
The quick
it's a 500,
cast
500, but like a regular.
I'd choose quick cast over a body any day. The versatility of quick cast.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah. I'm just telling you why these are costed differently. And there's also a rune, so it's a 1-time only thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nice.
I'm gonna run 4 of those guys in my deck.
I want you to. All right.
Next up.
Yep.
Sort of lament. 3-cost, quick cast, divinity 3, target J ruler.
Destroy target J ruler. What?
Whoa.
Man.
What?
That's awesome.
Black has never had that before, for sure.
Interesting.
I'm gonna jump on down Colin's throat before he can start his hate train. But
first off, I don't know why you think that's what I would say.
That's literally what you said for like the past.
I'm liking it.
Yeah,
I know I didn't like Black Moonbeam, but that was non-chaseable. At least this can be chased too. But I'm digging this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, at least you can chase this. You can only use it once. Quick cast is an interesting choice. That's probably my biggest problem is the quick cast. The other thing that bothers me is because they have this thing now with the rulers, and they said they would only make about the rulers, and if you J-activate, it's supposed to be this big thing, and J-activation costs like 5 now, and all this different stuff, and your J-rulers aren't even that strong and stuff, and they instantly introduced J-ruler destruction to try and like make people not want a judgment, and that's kind of weird to me. I feel like they should have waited at least 1 or 2 sets before introducing just straight J-ruler destruction.
To be fair, they did say that they want J-ruler activation to be like the final, like your last resort kind of. So like.
Yeah, but if it's your last resort, your opponent shouldn't be able to. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but like you're like, oh, my last resort. Here's 5 will judgment, and your opponent's like, cool. top 3 destroy damage overload.
But it's like Jeff said. He said like there's 5 that have enter abilities and 5 that don't. They have a passive ability. That's like a last resort. The enter ability. Flip over, do your enter, and then it dies. Okay, cool. So I have the enter ability go off.
Yeah,
but look at like Arthur's enter ability. Like he comes in and then he puts counters on himself and then he dies.
That's true.
It's like that's
you get
that's
out
shit
of
enter ability. That's not one that actually like helps you out when he enters. No, I think this is interesting. I think there's the only reason I'm not like shocked and like this is super gay is that I think there's still counterplay to it, and I think every counterplay to it. I don't know, not 100% sure though, off the top of my head.
Yeah,
but it's gonna be very iffy because like judgment, you're using all your will the majority of the time or a lot of the time. So like, what are you gonna use to?
That's why I said it's interesting they introduced it in this very first set. But yeah, we'll see.
All right, Joey, I'm gonna let you take this last one too, since I stole one of yours.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Tears of the Fallen, Divinity 2. Ruin your opponent discards a card at random.
What? Wait, what?
Free. That's nice.
That's not nice, Oscar. You get the heck out of here.
Heck yeah, it is. Man, all this discard Black's getting, I'm loving it. I'm gonna be a Black player.
God.
This is fucked.
Real quick.
Like this is fucked.
And I it's just to real quick confirm because someone said that this was not what Jeff Finnegan was talking about that originally had quick cast. Apparently it was that stone we saw before was originally quick cast speed and did not banish itself.
Yeah, I kind of figured like late game, if it didn't banish itself and didn't have main timing, it would be like late game would just be, you wouldn't even be able to top deck anything. You'd draw something before you untapped or even after you untapped, they'd just play that and then you'd have to discard it or play it.
But so back to this card. I don't like it. I think your opponent discarding a card at random for 0 and only a 2 divinity.
Yeah, and it's gonna be run in any rune deck, I feel, because now everybody can have a discard.
Why would they do? Why?
I don't.
That's a good point, though. That's a good point, though, Oscar. That anybody can have it.
See, I said the same thing about Severing Winds, and I regretted that later on.
The thing is, though, like Severing Winds could still be hard cast. Like, wanted to put like I think. I kind of agree with you. Like, there are some decks you might not want to put Severing Winds in, which is why sense. But like, I feel like this just is so free. It's so free. It's like if you don't have this.
Imagine this.
They're just gonna. It's so.
Imagine this, Joey. One, let's just assume best case scenario, which this is not going to happen by the way. Best case scenario though, they don't make another rune that makes your opponent discard a card for really cheap. Your opponent can now, by turn 3, have you now discarded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards.
Yeah. They could have you discard your entire hand. I agree.
By turn 3.
I'm on your side, Colin. I think this is retarded. But
yeah,
I shouldn't say that word. But
it's
so dumb.
Because your opponent's gonna play this first, and then play their card that they look at your hand and discard a 4 cost or less, and that way they could hit something good at random, and then they can use the other one. Or I guess it really doesn't matter which order they do it; they're gonna be on top no matter what. There's no downside to playing this card. You're not paying will. You're not losing out on cards. You're barely losing out on divinity, and you're making your opponent lose out on potentially great stuff because it's at random. The only downside is you don't get to choose the card, but that could be good because you're not limited by things like thought control or other cards where you're limited to a specific typing of card. It could potentially it's non-discriminatory.
Just means that like if they have one card in their hand, it's not random. They're just discarding it. Like, I'm just imagining like a play, like turn 1, you play New Thought Control and this, right? So like, or you play this and then you play New Thought Control. You hit 2 things. Next turn, you play Glint of Insight and then you run in it. And now all of a sudden they've discarded like 4 cards. They could even discard a 5 if they have multiples of for the Glint of Insight, and then like I don't know, turn 3 you could probably play another one and then just play like Azazel for like reduced cost.
What you do is you hard mulligan for all these discard things. And your deck runs destruction, so what you're able to do is to control your opponent's hand super hardcore now early on. If they have resonators on the field, you can either ignore them or destroy them however you may please. And once you've got their hand fully controlled, pretty much discard their entire hand at some point, and have their field on control, you can start with that 2 cost and start tutoring your hand with the exact card. You need to start getting into the main part of your game where you can start actually going on the offensive and stuff, and there's never going to be a downside to just playing pure hand control.
Yeah, like black, like this into like I don't even know, like yeah, you might need to tutor some stuff up, like that's obviously going to be super strong, but like just I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not about a 0 cost discard a card and get.
Because this far into spoilers, I've already forgotten what was day 1 of black, and I'm like looking at it right now, like, wow, yeah, that's a lot of discard.
Yeah, no, it's a lot, and we have 2 cards right now that like cost less when they have 1 card in the hand or less. So,
like, yeah, and now, here's one thing I'll say: the downside of Severin gone now, there's no reason for your opponent now just to pay 1 cost discard, 1 cost discard, 1 cost discard, 3 times or 4 times in a turn, and then they can play this or something like that. They can just completely and none of them have quick cast, so you don't have to worry about Pharaoh's spell. It's just straight discard heaven essentially.
Maybe they'll unban Otherworld Dreams.
Anyways, they'll literally just be like, okay, here's my other 1 cost discard.
Yeah, right.
We'll see how it goes. I've never like discards. Like I said, discard's fine. I've never been a fan of a lot of discard though, because at some point, it's the same reason I don't like Sherry is. Sherry has so many counters, at some point you're just not even able to play the game anymore. And I like being able to play the game, even if I'm going to lose, at least I played the game. If you're just sitting there waiting for your opponent to just do their turn, pass it, and then you discard your hand, there's no fun in that. So hopefully there's some sort of balance to this. Like if your opponent discard every time maybe there's a field card that every time your opponent makes you discard a card, they also discard a card. So something like that to balance it out would be nice. I don't know how you would do it, but we'll see.
What's Lucifer's? Okay, his judgment's 5, so
yeah,
that's pretty expensive.
Yeah, but
yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you Sunday night for more.
Yep.